Hello, my name is Miss P and I am Michael's teacher. I would like to thank you for taking the time to come in today. I know you have a very busy schedule. I would just like to talk about some observations I've had about your son Michael and how he's doing in our class and some things we can do to improve to progress him further in his education. So some of my first observations about Michael is that he has a lot of energy. He is constantly moving, wiggling, and dancing, and he loves to be active. It's disruptive, however, during circle time when we're all on the carpet. He does like to get up and move around, and so that's one of my concerns, is creating a space where he can let out his energy and still participate in classroom discussions. He does play with his surrounding area. I've seen him take off his shoes and create an imaginative story. Your son is very imaginative. That goes into saying that I have noticed that he has displayed echolalia, which is a condition where he can repeat or imitate what someone else has said, and also delayed echolalia, which is repeating something that he's heard before, even though it's not in that moment. And I noticed that one weekend he saw a fire truck with you, and he came into school and would only repeat the word fire truck. Very sweet boy, always willing to give hugs, and however, I have noticed that he does display a lack of eye contact. He's not following teacher or the speaker when being spoken to, and in turn that's making it hard to establish communication and been unresponsive. Now, that brings me into Michael's strengths and areas of need. Now, I have noticed that he is a very smart boy. It's just communicating on his level, and if he understands what you're asking, he can deliver what is expected. Now, areas of need would definitely go with listening. It seems that he is in a blank space and unresponsive. Instructions have to be repeated multiple times, and I do get in front of him at eye level to instruct him. And that also affects his social area when he does not really interact much with his classmates, and he demonstrates solitary play. Not play with other students, playing next to them, and by himself, engrossed in what he's doing. Like I said, Michael is a very imaginative boy, very smart. Physically, he needs to work on his fine motor skills. He has a hard time trying to grip his pencils and just pinch things. And so we've been working on that in our classroom as well, and guiding him with his pencil and writing. Now, the area that I observed your son in was with math. We were working on shapes, and we sorted the shapes, we matched the shapes, we counted the shapes, we worked on one-to-one correspondence. Like I said, he is very smart, and he understands and can differentiate between the shapes. He did a really great job with that. We did a puzzle matching the shapes, the circles with circles, squares with squares. He did a really great job with that. Only missed the triangle. We worked on that matching one-to-one correspondence. He seemed to grasp that really quickly. Now, the lesson that I taught Michael's class was a lesson in math and on shapes. And when we first started the lesson, we talked about all the different shapes there are: circles, rectangles, squares, triangles, ovals, and we matched them on the board. I had different cutouts, and a student would pick it up from the carpet and put it on the board with the corresponding shape. And after that, then we read the book Mouse Shapes by Ellen Walsh, and that talked all about the different shapes and how it can create pictures, people's, animals. And for our lesson, I had Michael trace different types of shapes, the circles, triangles, rectangles, and we cut them out and designed a mouse, basically, with it. It was a lot of fun. I'm sure that you saw his mouse that he made that we sent home. There were some concerns and there are some guidance points that he needed, but overall Michael completed his mouse. And now there were parts of the lesson that we had to change up to fit Michael's needs, and that goes into the UDL, or the Universal Design for Learning. And for Michael, we had, because of his lack of fine motor skills and pinching, I had to help him hold a pencil, and we actually had a special tool, kind of like that goes on chopsticks for children. It helps hold the pencil for them, big grip. And Michael seems to do really well with that. We had the thicker pencils for him instead of thin ones. And the same problem with cutting. I had to guide my hand over him and do the open and close motion, but we got through that. I had to, instead of him designing his mouse, really, we had to talk about what shapes that were needed to make a mouse. We talked about that the head needed to be a triangle and the ears circles, and we talked about all of this. He just needs someone to sit by him and one-on-one to go over and complete the lesson. To glue it on, I ended up putting little dots on the paper, and he put it down himself. So this mouse that he made is his mouse. This experience overall was really wonderful. Michael is a very lovable student and is quick to give out hugs, along with all the other children. And it's important to be flexible because instruction needs to be changed based on the needs of my students. And I totally understand that. And I want to move forward with what we can do to help Michael in my class. And I'm really thinking that he needs a buddy system or one-on-one guidance to help him out. And definitely we need to slow down and talk slowly to him, in front of him, making eye contact, so we do understand that he is listening and is being responsive. He's very, very smart, and he can grasp the concepts that are being given to him. We need to work on his social and maybe having like that buddy system or group work, something to get him involved, active play. But I really do love having Michael in my class, and he is such a joy. Thank you so much for taking your time to come speak to me about this.